vintage cheetah style travel. I've never made a tier list, so I'm gonna make my first ever tier list, and I'm gonna make it on these European cities that I traveled to, and I'm also gonna compare it to the city where I live. So these cities that I traveled to in Europe were Rome, Rome, Italy, Barcelona, Spain, and Paris, France. And I'm gonna compare them to the area where I'm living at right now, which is Miami metro area, right here. That's gonna be my comparison on this tier list. I'm gonna be comparing these four cities, and I'm gonna be comparing them on these topics, which is tourism attractions. I'm gonna compare them on architecture and urban planning, also on public transportation, on cleanliness, on perceived safety, on food quality, on affordability, and on how good looking I thought the women were. Keep in mind that I only spent a week in each city, so this is from the point of view of a tourist that only spent a week there, and it's, yeah, my opinion on these four cities. So moving on, I'm gonna be comparing these cities on tourism attractions, and in my opinion, Rome is S tier. It's a city that's got so many ancient ruins and really interesting churches and cathedrals. It's I mean, unrivaled for cathedrals and churches, and it's got the Vatican, it's got ancient ruins, it's got the Colosseum, the Palatine area, Roman Forum, that whole ancient city area, and it's got ruins. It's just, I think that's, for tourism attractions, it's S tier. I'm also gonna rank Paris, France S tier, because Paris has a lot of things, not as many ancient things as Rome. Paris is a younger city; it doesn't have as many ancient ruins, but they do have the Eiffel Tower, Trocadero, um, the gardens of the Tuileries, uh, Louvre Museum. That's really Paris is really good for gardens. They have amazing gardens. I'm not gonna rank it as high as Rome, but I think it's S tier also. And I'm gonna rank Barcelona A tier. They have this large cathedral, which is Sagrada Familia. I mean, Barcelona, I think it's a really nice looking city with really nice streets and nice community, but it doesn't have the level of ancient ruins that Rome has, and it doesn't have the majestic like city vibes that Paris has. It does have, I mean, what Barcelona does have is nice neighborhoods and a nice looking city, like cozy looking city. And Miami metro area. Miami metro area doesn't have as many ancient ruins, ancient buildings, but it does have nice beaches. So Miami would be ranked S tier for beaches, but it doesn't have that many ancient buildings. Although it does have Orlando nearby, but Orlando and Disney. But I think this is Barcelona's more of a touristy destination, more of a where they have a lot of ancient stuff to see, and I think so. I think I'm gonna rank Miami B tier on tourist attractions. So that's my final tier list on tourist attractions. Okay, moving on to the next topic: architecture, urban planning. So for architecture and urban planning, I think Paris is S tier. The gardens are really nice. They have a nice grid. I mean, they really They really planned their city to look a certain way. It's got its own like look. Rome is much more compact. It's an more older city. It's more compact than Paris, but it's cozy. I mean, it's still. I mean, it feels cozy and it's a lot more compact. Barcelona, real nice also. Urban planning for Miami, man. It depends on what you like. Miami Metro is a very suburban, American suburbia type of area. If you like suburbia, if you like not having that many people around you, if you like space, if you like spread out, then Miami would be good for you. It just depends what you're into. If you like more of a city vibe, like people walking on the street next to you, then all three of the European cities are better for that. All three of these cities have a lot of people walking on the sidewalks. They have a lot of traffic, pedestrian traffic. They're all very compact compared to American suburban cities. It just depends what you like. If you like suburbia, if you like to be left alone, if you like privacy, Miami would be good for that. If you like people around you, if you like busy sidewalks, if you like dense living, all three of these cities are good for that. Although Rome would be the densest, with the most maybe crowds. I mean, Paris has quite a lot of people in the street too. Barcelona has, I think, more than Paris, at least on the main streets. Just depends what you like. But for my taste, that this would be my tier list because I'm not that into suburbia. So that's my urban planning. That's my ranking on urban planning, architecture, urban planning. All right, now I'm gonna rank these cities on public transportation. Right, because when you're a tourist, you want to get to places easily, right, and cheaply. Or even if you live there, right? 'Cause very expensive transportation is definitely a down on a city. Okay. So public transportation. Barcelona, number one, they had the nicest subway, modern looking subway, cheap prices for the subway. Trains are new looking. It was similar to Tokyo. Trains look very similar. I bet they're using kind of the same trains as Tokyo or something because the trains look very similar. Um, Prices were cheap. The subway gets you anywhere in the city. Um, the city is compact. I really like Barcelona. I mean, their subways really it looks new. It's not totally clean like Tokyo, but it looks like it's a newer subway. Number okay, and then Paris would be A tier. Paris would be A tier because they have a subway that covers the entire city and it gets you there, but it's an older subway, and it's that like the subway cars are narrower. They're much narrower. It looks much older. The subway tunnels are a lot more, not as wide, not as spacious. It's a lot more less spacious. It's not clean. The Paris subway is not clean. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't look safe, but it gets you there. It's effective at getting you there, and the price is good. So I think it'd probably be A. It's not very clean. Paris subway not very clean, and you don't feel safe. It has quite a few sketchy people. I mean, it is dirty. Rome. Rome has a subway, but it only covers like the main attractions, and it doesn't cover the whole city. More of a limited subway. But they do have really nice regional trains. Regional trains were brand new when I went there. The subway was in good shape. It was similar to Barcelona subway. and the but the regional trains were really amazing. And in Paris, I mean, they just, I mean, in Rome, they just got new ones probably for the Jubilee year. I don't know, but they were brand new regional trains. Regional trains were A plus in Rome, and very cheap. I got from the airport to Roma Termini for 2 euros and a half, 2.5 euros from the airport to Roma Termini. That's extremely good in a brand new regional train. There's another one that's called Leonardo Express that goes straight from the airport to the Roma Termini, and but that one's like 15 euros or 12 euros, much more expensive. And public transportation for Miami Metro, I think I'm gonna rank it C. I think public transportation is generally not very good in the U.S. It's a very suburban country that where they don't focus on public transportation. It's very spread out. A lot of people have to have their own car. Miami does have a metro rail, which is like a train, like a subway train, but it only covers the downtown area, and it's got a metro mover, which is a little free, like monorail, but it's not a monorail. It's just a little monorail looking train, but it's free. So, but if you live in the suburbs, transportation is not very good in Miami. So that's my final ranking on transportation. Barcelona, best transportation. Paris gets you there, but it's dirty and looks dangerous, and not older cars, older subway system. That's got good prices, but you don't feel like it's not clean and it doesn't feel safe. But it covers the whole city and it's cheap. And Rome, more of a limited subway, but the regional trains are really extremely good in Rome. But then you have to stay like near the regional trains, right? And Miami would be C on public transportation. Okay, so that's my final tier list on public transportation. Okay, cleanliness. These European cities, they were not as clean as I thought they were gonna be. They reminded me, and all these three cities reminded me a lot of Latin America. Um, Not they're dense cities. They have a lot of people. They're interesting. They're stimulating. There's a lot of pedestrian flow, but they're not the cleanest cities. Neither of these are. Let's see, Barcelona. Huh. Am I gonna rank Barcelona? Cleanliness. All right, get there. I mean, it's the streets are not clean. They are interesting. They're cozy looking. You feel cozy, but they're not clean. Not like Tokyo. Rome, I think, was even dirtier than Barcelona. Streets are just like not. Streets have a lot of soot. Like they need power washing. Even though the city is very interesting and stimulating and cozy, but the streets are just not clean. In Paris, I think ranks higher than Rome. I think that would be my cleanliness for the European cities, and cleanliness for Miami. There's areas of Miami Metro that are clean because they're so suburban. They're so spread out that they look clean because there isn't much people using them. There isn't much pedestrian activity. And then there's really bad areas in Miami Metro that are ghetto areas, and they're extremely like full of garbage piles. It depends Miami where you live. It depends if you live in a like gated community, then it looks cleaner. Honestly, but you also have in Miami, you also have very nasty, trash-filled ghettos where it's like literal mountains of trash. So man, I don't know. I guess I'll rank it like this because the ghettos are really bad in Miami Metro. If you go to like these ghettos that are just horrible. So that's my final ranking on cleanliness. Perceived safety. This is how safe the cities feel. Um, they may not be as safe as they feel, but just from a vibe point of view, how safe are these cities for visiting or living there? Huh. So I would say, okay. There's supposed to be a lot of pickpockets in Barcelona, though, allegedly. Paris does not feel safe, and it's got sketchy areas and some sketchy-looking people. I think that's my safety rank. I mean, Miami has really nasty ghetto areas where it's very dangerous, and it looks like just a apocalypse zone. How safe they feel, yeah. Barcelona's, it's cozy, it's interesting, it feels kind of safe. Rome is grimy and doesn't feel as safe because it's so grimy. Paris, sketchy looking people and grimy. And Miami has just like zombie zones. Miami Metro. Some areas are nice, but it's got these zombie zones. So it's my final ranking on the safety. Perceived safety, not actual safety. For actual safety, you have to look at the statistics, crime statistics. That's just how they felt. Okay, so safety, food quality. Food quality. Rome, I had the best food. Pizzas in Rome were amazing, and pasta was amazing, and the prices were good. I didn't have any bad pasta or pizza, and I had all gluten free pasta and pizza, so the wheat one's probably even tastier. Barcelona and Paris. I'm gonna rank Paris slightly higher than Barcelona because Paris has more of a they have more of a, like an international vibe. They have more different types of cuisine and different types of people living there. So they have more diverse population, and so you have a more of a chance to see like to get like different international foods in Paris, I think, than Barcelona. But they're very close. Barcelona is an international city too that has a lot of foreigners. In Miami, in terms of food, I mean, there's good restaurants in Miami Metro. May not be as affordable, but there's good places to eat too. So I'm gonna rank it last, but still A tier, Miami Metro. Rome, I mean, the pasta was just tasted really good. The cheese for the pizza tasted really good. The pizza was really good in Rome, and the prices were good. I think Rome has the best food. All right, so that's my ranking on food. Affordability. I'm gonna rank these cities on affordability. I think Barcelona was the most affordable. I'm not gonna rank it. This is like affordable and in a world sense, not affordable compared to each other. There's other cities in the world that are much more affordable, of course, but compared to each other, Barcelona was the most affordable city out of these. I think. I think the food was cheaper. I was eating for 10 euros. I was getting meals for 10 euros in Barcelona. Decent meals with dessert and everything. Paris felt like the U.S. Paris was not as affordable. Paris, I mean, I had coffees for 5 euros. Coffees are like 5 euros for a coffee. There's some places where you can get a meal for like 12 euros or 10 euros, but most of them are more expensive, like more expensive than Barcelona. Rome, Rome had affordable food too, but the quality for the price is better in Rome, in my opinion. Affordability, yeah, I think Rome's like slightly more expensive than Barcelona, and then you have Miami Metro. Food's gotten really expensive here in Miami Metro, and it's been a lot of inflation, and it's just gotten unaffordable. Right now, I mean, you can eat a lunch special for $15, but a lot of places are charging 25 per plate, $25 per plate. A lot of restaurants. So I'm ranking Miami Metro last for affordability. I mean, if you go to like a Texas Roadhouse, $25 per plate. You go to Chili's. I mean, they have some 15, but a lot of them are $25 per plate. You go to Cheesecake Factory, $25 per plate. So affordability, I'm giving Miami the lowest score, Miami Metro. And you also have to factor in transportation. That transportation is so sparse that you also have to add the transportation costs. Hotels are really expensive in Miami Metro. I stayed at really nice hotels for 100 euros in all these three European cities. I mean, a hotel in Miami Metro is more like $200. Also depends on your exchange rate when you go. Dollars were high, ranking, were having a good exchange rate at the time when I went. So that's my final ranking in affordability relative to each other. Not relative to the world, because there's much more affordable cities around the world, like Bangkok, Jakarta, some cities in Latin America, that are more affordable than all these. I'll be doing if I travel there, I'll be doing comparisons too on those. So that's my final ranking on affordability. And the last category is how good looking I thought the women were there. Relative to each other, not to the world. Okay, I thought I saw better looking women in Paris, and Paris is a more of an international city that has a lot of diversity. So it's a lot of tourists. There's a lot of diversity. Barcelona has a lot of tourists. Tourists tend to be attractive because they're tourists are usually higher economic class people, and so they tend to be attractive tourists. Barcelona has a lot of tourists, and Barcelona's gonna rank S because of the tourists. Rome, Rome at the time where I went, didn't have as many tourists as I thought it would, considering all the attractions that they have, all the ruins and everything. I went on February. I don't know if it was because of February or what, but Barcelona had more tourists than Rome, from what I saw. I'm gonna rank like that, and I'm gonna rank this Miami Metro. Oof. Miami Metro doesn't have very many tourists. Most of the tourists are like from Latin America, but not very many from the world. You also have to keep in mind that it's a very suburban area, Miami Metro. So even if they have attractive women, you a lot of times don't even see them because it's a suburbia. Like you don't see people walking around in the sidewalks as much. Uh, Everybody's in their car. Hmm. Yeah, I think that's my tier list on how good looking I thought the women were compared to each other, not compared to the world. All right, yeah. So that's my tier list. That's my final tier list. That's what I thought. That's my opinion.